Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to give it a minute for everyone to join us. Can we start? I think so. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Marina Martins-Ide. I am the Education USA advisor from the PUC-Rio office. Welcome to our first ever Education USA Brazil virtual roadshow. During this whole week, we have had sessions like this one. Today is the last one of this week, but on Saturday, we will have two sessions, one at 11 a.m. and one at 2 p.m. So make sure to join us then. To our representatives here tonight, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And our panel today is about the importance of extracurricular activities during the pandemic. And I hope you enjoy it. And now I will give the mic over to our Education USA advisor, Guilherme.
Hello, everyone. My name is Guilherme Viana. I'm an Education USA advisor from Brasilia at Casa Thomas Jefferson. It's very nice to have you all here this evening. I'm going to switch to Portuguese for just a minute so I can just to use some announcements. Boa noite, pessoal. Obrigado pela presença de todos vocês, tá? Meu nome é Guilherme. Sou orientador educacional do Education USA em Brasília, no Centro Binacional, na Casa Thomas Jefferson. Tá? Para quem não conhecia ainda o Education USA, o Education USA é uma rede global de centros, tá? A gente está presente em mais de 140 países, são escritórios, né, de aconselhamento filiados ao Departamento de Estado americano. Né? Atualmente no Brasil são 40 centros, tá? Education USA, e nosso objetivo é providenciar, passar para vocês informações precisas, abrangentes e atualizadas, tá? Sobre oportunidades de estudo no ensino superior nos Estados Unidos. Durante esse evento, vocês vão poder enviar as perguntas, tá? As dúvidas de vocês nessa aba do Q&A, que vocês vão ver aqui embaixo, tá? O Q&A, Questions and Answers, aqui da plataforma. E no final a gente vai selecionar essas perguntas para que os nossos representantes aqui presentes possam responder. É importante vocês lembrarem, tá, que ao final, tá, vocês também vão ter a oportunidade de falar diretamente com esses representantes. Eles vão ter salas individuais no Zoom, tá? Quando tiver no finalzinho dessa sessão, os links para vocês acessarem as salas vão ser compartilhados, tá, com vocês aqui. Eu acho que essas são as principais informações que eu precisava passar sobre o nosso evento. Desejo a todos nós aqui um ótimo evento. I think we are good to go. I'm inviting now our first representative to begin the presentation. Thank you.
All right. I suppose that is me. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope everybody is able to see the shared screen. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thumbs up. Awesome. So again, bom dia. It is. I know it's early in the evening in Brazil, and today we will talk a little bit about the importance of extracurricular activities during the pandemic. First off, I'd like to introduce all of us and give me a moment here to make sure the slides are moving forward as they should. Just 1 second. There we go. This is who will be speaking today. That's us. These are your presenters, and we will go in that sequence. It will be, my name is Boris Polacek from CSUN, California State University, Northridge, and then followed by Robert Carlin from CSU SM, San Marcos State, California State University, San Marcos. Then Luis de Jesus from DBU, that is Dallas Baptist University. And then we will have Maria Kopnitsky from Oswego State University of New York. Natalia Herrera from SCAD. And then Jean Blanchette from the Manhattan College. So these are our institutions and your presenters. And this is where you can find us. So that's where we are located. These are our institutions, just to give you a little bit of a visual understanding and idea. So a couple of institutions, the 2 institutions in California, 1 in Texas, 1 in Georgia, and then 2 institutions in New York. All right, without further ado, this is my segment. So again, welcome everybody. My name is Boris Policek. I'm actually the Outreach and International Programs Manager at California State University, Northridge. And in my segment today, I will speak a little bit to career services and career services available to international students at US universities. And first off, I would like to explain a little bit more about my institution that I work for. Again, I mentioned California State University, Northridge, or as we call ourselves, CSUN. We are actually part of the California State University system, which is the largest public university system in the United States, consisting out of 23 different campuses throughout California. And CSUN itself is actually among the top 3 largest campuses in that CSU system. We do have a student enrollment of about 40,000 students, out of which we have around 3,000 international, close to 3,000 international students from more than 100 different countries. So it's very diverse, it's very international, and our students are able to study more than 60 undergraduate majors and more than 70 master degree programs. Also, our students are able to join more than 300 clubs and organizations which are active on our campus. We are located in the city of Los Angeles. A lot of you may think Northridge, where is that? Well, it's actually in LA. It's in the northern part of the city. It's about 40 minutes away by driving distance from the Los Angeles International Airport, so fairly easily reachable. Now, when it comes to career services, I think it's a very, very important thing that you should consider when you're deciding on an institution to study at in the United States. So for you as an international student, please definitely make sure that the university that you are going for or that you're set on attending, that they do offer career services to you. Career services per se are usually extracurricular activities in that sense that you know, they're outside from your typical schedule as a student. So there's a lot of initiative that you have to bring in to you know, pursue and see what is available at each campus. A lot of universities in the US, generally speaking, do offer career counseling and even career counseling for international students. So quite important, please make sure that the university you're looking at has something similar. And career counseling is very neat. What you can do there is you can get, you know, help with interviews or resumes. Very important, because I'm sure that that is a little bit different from how the interview or resume process works in Brazil. Also, you might be able to take a self-assessment. Self-assessment, see where your own strengths and weaknesses lie. And then according to that, maybe decide on a career, something that you later on want to do in life. Maybe you already have a specific job in mind, and you will most likely have a career counselor who will be able to help you with that, who will be able to maybe create a little roadmap to see, hey, this is what I want to do later on in life. What do I have to do in order to get there, in order to achieve my dream job? Also, super important, while you are a student, please make sure not to forget to already start building your professional network, because you never know what might happen, right? You never know what type of connections you make, which later on down in life will help you find certain opportunities, such as internship opportunities, or maybe even job opportunities. So please do that. Please make sure to connect to local employers, connect to the institution's alumni network, if that is available to you, and then take it from there. So please make those connections. Also, when you decide on a university, please look what type of hands-on experience is provided to students. A lot of universities do offer hands-on experience and practical experience to their students. You know, let's say you are an engineering student and you're interested in studying engineering, that there's some sort of you know, hands-on experience involved there, maybe even a co-op program that is available to you. So that's very, very important. And last but not least, campus jobs, also very important. These help you gaining, you know, some work experience, but also they help you with some supplemental income as well. So please make sure that when you decide on an institution that you find these resources available on campus. Some institutions will also have advice on optional practical training once you're done with your degree. And yeah, just feel free to reach out if you have any questions with that regard. Now, when it comes to our institution, CSUN in particular, this is what we've done during the pandemic. So we do have our own career services center, and our career services center completely moved virtual. So we have virtual Zoom hours every day where students can attend, where students can connect with a career counselor and get some help. We also do have virtual job fairs where students can connect with employers here in the Los Angeles area via a system called Handshake. So again, all of that is online and virtual. You can seek out internship opportunities. You can find virtual campus jobs, very important as well. And then we also have something, or we had something in the last couple of weeks called the International Pathway Speaker Series that you could attend and connect with local leaders in companies. And this was done in conjunction with the Los Angeles Mayor's office. So again, a lot of different things. Even our intensive English program in 2022 will have some career pathway elements in it as well. So, you know, either be business English or certain vocabulary regarding certain careers that we have here in the United States. This is how it looks right now. As you can see on this slide, this is our career center. It's fully up online. You can visit it at Career Center CSUN just to get an idea. As you can see, it's self-exploration counseling, all of that is available. And that is it for me. So again, very important, please make sure when you decide on a university to see what is available in terms of career services. These tend to be extracurricular, so apart from what you already additionally do in your degree. I'll pass it on to my colleague, Robert from CSU San Marcos.
Thank you, Boris. I was going to say boa tarde. my Portuguese, unfortunately, is not as good as it used to. I miss my feijoada and my pão de queijo. So I'm looking forward to coming back to Brazil and celebrating when you guys open up and when we do as well. So moving on to support services, we'll talk a little bit about California State University San Marcos. Next slide. There we go. So a little geography lesson for everybody. So we're located south of Los Angeles and just north of San Diego. So if you're familiar with the world famous San Diego Zoo, Disneyland is about 45 minutes from us. We're about 15 minutes to the beach and about an hour and a half to the mountains. So great location. As you can see from the temperature, never too hot, never too cold. Our university is a bit smaller than our sister campus at Northridge. We're at about 14,000 students, but we offer 74 different majors and minors. We offer bachelor's up to master's degrees. And we're very much like many universities, we really want undergraduate students to have opportunity for research and for internship. So that's kind of important for us at Cal State San Marcos. And we do a lot of our students do volunteer work, right? So they do over 180,000 hours each year, the university students. And this is just a way for you to get connected with the community. We're the safest four-year university again in California. We're very proud of that. We offer some English language and short-term programs. So if you're not coming for a full degree, but you want to practice your English, we can talk about that in our breakout room. And then our full-time faculty teach our first-year students, and that's important as well. Our faculty love to teach. So you're not going to have to wait till a master's degree or whatever to get to know our faculty. They're going to be teaching you from the very beginning. Next slide. So let's talk about support services. So pretty much every university in the United States offers these types of services, and these are really important for you. Again, as Boris indicated, when looking at universities and colleges, make sure that they have a full array of support services for you. So that would be counseling services. Coming from overseas, from Brazil, for example, you're going to probably experience a bit of what we call culture shock. I know Brazil and America have a lot in common, but there's some differences as well. And that's why counseling services are available to you. We also have academic support services at many universities. So for example, a writing center, you're having to write a research paper and maybe you're a little rusty in terms of the grammar and how to punctuate or how to cite a source. So the writing center is a great place for that. Similarly, I'm lousy at math. I'm a very bad math person. So math center I'd be there every day. The Math Center is there to kind of support you with your math courses that you're doing. Tutoring services, a lot of universities provide one-on-one advising for you with tutors. A lot of these tutors are former professors, for example, or people in the community that want to volunteer their time. And so they give you that opportunity to kind of meet people outside of your normal student group. An orientation is always something that happens on university campuses and colleges before you come to the United States or when you first arrive. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. A health center, we want to make sure that you're physically and mentally healthy, right? So universities and colleges have a health center usually. And as a result, if you have a bit of a cold or something and you don't want to figure out the craziness of the pharmacies in the United States and whatnot, the health center usually can provide you with those services. And then most important, you're going to have an international student advisor. This is somebody who most likely has studied abroad, could be an international person themselves, but they know what you're going through, right? And so they do a lot of those academic support, counseling services and whatnot, and they're able to provide you with some kind of like your family friend, right, when you come to the United States. And they do more than just immigration advising. Next slide. Okay, so what's happening during COVID? So many universities and colleges have had to switch online, like I know all of you have done either in your high schools or universities. So we've really boosted our orientation programming to get the students oriented even before they physically take their courses online with Cal State San Marcos or with other universities. We want you to successfully complete online courses, if that's what you're going to be taking your first semester or first year. Tutoring services, again, have moved online. So we have regular walk-in hours for students in virtual rooms where you can go and talk to somebody about your particular needs and support services that you need. Conversation partners, this has been great. So our domestic students who sometimes get a bit involved in other activities and whatnot, we've really pushed them to say, hey, look, we've got these international students that aren't necessarily able to come to the United States. Is there a way that you might be able to find some time to strike up a conversation with them? And then you've got an instant friend when you physically do come to the United States. So the ISP program is similar to that. We match up our international students and we want to make sure that you are connected with not just new students, but also our current students. And many times those students can provide you with some great advice about your schedule of classes, for example, professors they would recommend, possibly getting an on-campus job when you physically come to campus, etc. So that's kind of an overview of student support services, and I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Boris, please. Hi, my name is Luis from Dallas Baptist University in Texas. It's a pleasure to be here. Boa tarde a todos, bem-vindos. I'm Brazilian as well, born and raised. Actually, I like to joke that I'm not Brazilian. I'm born and raised in Bahia, which is another nation in Brazil. So that's a good point, right? So it's good to be here. I'm glad to represent my university as well, my colleagues here. So I want to talk a little bit about DBU before I go to the international orientation. Boris, please. All right. Boris, you can keep mine, don't worry. So first of all, DBU was founded in 1898. We have over 120 years of history in Texas. I think you went to the second slide before DBU. It's okay, I will start here. My apologies. First of all, international orientation, it's very important for any university. Every university represented here, we do have kind of a type of virtual, online, or in-person orientation. Example, when you come to a university like DBU or State University of New York or California universities, any of the university here, you must to participate in the international orientation. Why? Because you have the directions, what you should do, what you should not be doing, things that you available for you to serve you. Example, in international orientation, the first thing it's very important to know is the check-in. When you come to the US, one of the first things you're gonna be asked is if you stamp your visa, your officer for the immigration has been stamped your passport correctly. And these things, they will find out if the I-94 online has been correctly entered the information as a F1 student. During the orientation, immigration officers like immigration advisor from the international office, they will guide you about some regulation about work on campus, how to work hours during the week, what's the regulations, what's the actual things change mostly daily in the immigration policies they have right now in the United States, and many other things that make sure you are in good shape with the laws and guidelines that F1 student needs to hold. Second thing is during the international orientation, there are many things that we're going to speak today. And the international orientation, besides career services, student support services, housing, activities, clubs, community service that we're going to speak today, we also have tutoring, that you have people that available to support you. So during some universities, they gather all the departments, and those departments are in charge to each and every one to show the students what we should be learning during the international orientation. So campus resources, career services, health services, personal counseling, computer labs, fitness facilities, all these things going to be shown to the students while they're in international orientation. Due to the COVID right now, the coronavirus pandemic, we're able only to do this online. However, for the past semester in the state of Texas, DBU and many universities in other states, we are able to receive the student in person, which we have been keep distance, social distance, masks, and other precautions to avoid any spread of virus. And we have been able to distribute some package for the students to have some physical documentation in how the international orientation works. During the international orientation as well, the students knows where to apply for work. They will get a direction how to get a driver license, how they can get some Texas ID or other states' ID. They have orientation how to apply for Social Security. They have a lot of orientation they receive during the international orientation. During this time as well, they have as well information regards to student clubs, even if they have to participate in the Brazilian student club, if they have to participate in the Latino student club, Asia, in many others that we offer, and many universities present here, they offer as well. They also have information about cashiers and financial office that specific about scholarships, some financial aid, some support, some financial support, some like enrollment plan and financial plan. And as well, they have about the bookstore, library services that are available for them to learn more about the campus, and as well, how to follow the guidelines, not either for the university, but in the state and the United States. Boris, could you please be back to the previous slide that show about the university? Thank you so much. That was the first slide I was supposed to show, but generally speaking, DBU, as many universities present here, we always has the international orientation. But now I will speak about my university. Located in Dallas, Texas, we fully operate right now in the state. We have been one of the few universities that kind of attend universities like in person and as well virtually right now online education. We have been founded in 1898. We have 123 years of history in the state of Texas. We are a national rank university, as well. We have plus 75 undergraduate courses and as well over 35 master's degree and 23 doctoral. We are part of have like 30 plus STEM courses, science, technology, engineer, and mathematics. As well, we offer some opportunities for the students, include Brazilian students and an international called HSA. HSA is Honors Scholars Academy, which any students can have up to 80% discounted on the tuition, while he or she or any student can study during the high school years. If you are in the high school and you're in Brazil and you want to check some college credits, you will have 80% discounted toward any tuition at DBU during your high school years. We accept some courses like IB, AP. Also, we offer English Language Institute. Right now, during the pandemic, we have been offering opportunity for the students to study abroad virtually through the English Online Live. English Online Live is opportunity for you to study pronunciation, conversation, grammar, and many other areas of the English language from your home. Also, we are among the 10 best universities in the state of Texas, including the University of Texas and many others well known. We're ranked one of the top best colleges national right now, and also one of the safest university camps in the state. Also, one of the top choices of international students. Among the Brazilian, we have been ranked number 33 nationally. And also, we offer a lot of scholarships, opportunities. And finally, Dallas-Fort Worth has been ranking number 1 in the nation right now for economic development and as well job opportunities. I hope this presentation. Right now, I'm going to pass on to my colleague, Maria, from the State University of New York.
Great, thank you so much, Luis. Thank you to my colleagues for being here with me. Thank you to everyone who is here today for listening to our presentation. I hope you learn a lot. Today, I will be talking about global housing within the context of residence life at a US university. Next slide, please. Okay, so my name is Maria. Yes, okay, next slide. Perfect, thank you, Boris. My name is Maria Kamnitsky. I just want to briefly introduce you to the university that I represent, and that is the State University of New York at Oswego. And if you hear New York, you probably think of my colleague in Manhattan from Manhattan College. You probably think of Times Square. We are outside of New York City. New York State is very big. We're about 5 hours driving from New York City. So New York State is a vast state on the other side of the country from California and rather far away from Texas. So we're in the northeast corner of the United States. At Oswego in particular, we are known for some of our programs, not only in STEM degrees, so computer science, chemistry, electrical and computer engineering, software engineering, biochemistry, but also in business, communication, and the arts. We are part of, as our name suggests, the prestigious SUNY system. SUNY stands for State University of New York. This is one of the most prestigious and one of the largest public higher education institutions in the country. We have at Oswego, we're a small to medium-sized university. We don't have more than 8,000 students. We hover between 8,000 to 7,500, 7,500, anywhere around there. So we are small to medium sized. And we have right now about 200 international students. So we are rather small. There are advantages and disadvantages of this. And one is that at a smaller institution like Oswego, you get a really personalized learning experience that is dedicated to making sure that you grow both academically, as well as personally and even professionally. So I think that is rather nice about Oswego, is that professors are invested in your learning and can really offer you individualized learning outcomes. We offer really good scholarships too. So our automatic scholarships for undergraduate students range from 53 to 82% of your yearly cost of tuition. Next slide, please. So I want to talk specifically about the extracurricular activities in regards to where you live when you come to the United States and study here. No matter where you study in the United States, you have to live somewhere. Some students live off campus in apartments or in houses. Many of them live on campus. Some are living in like host family experiences. But I would imagine for the vast majority of international students in the United States, they're probably living on campus, very close to their classrooms and their libraries, close to where they will be walking to class, so it's not that far, or they live within a few miles of the university itself. On-campus living is a really important part of the US college experience, and in fact, many universities throughout the United States will require you to live on campus at least for 1 year, maybe even 2, at the bachelor's or undergraduate level. And on campus, there's a wide range of available housing. You may most typically live in a room with a roommate. You could live in a suite, a house style, on-campus village. There are all of these different accommodations for living. There are also different places to eat on campus, whether that be a dining hall or a buffet style cafeteria, cafes, on-campus fast food chains, coffee shops, etc. Now, you may be wondering, in a presentation about extracurricular activities, why am I talking specifically about residence life? Because on-campus, an on-campus experience, not only residential experience, right? Not only provides you with an experience to make friends, to live and learn and grow within the campus community, but it's also a good way to involve yourself within the curriculum of the particular university that you're attending. So if we could go to the next slide, please, Boris. So this brings me to what are called living and learning experiences. Many universities within the United States will offer living and learning environments or communities or experiences that provide you with a place to live and an experience in that residence hall that is tied to a course. So it's not part of your daily curriculum. It's not as if you go to a classroom, but there may be a theme to where you live if you live in an on-campus residence hall. This may be a first-year experience dormitory. It may be a global living and learning community. It may be housing specifically for non-traditional students, or a dormitory only for business students or only for the engineering students. And it's usually tied to a curriculum. So there's a course involved, which allows students to get really hands-on practical training in their program or their interests while they live in a particular residence hall. I'm going to give you an example of this. So at SUNY Oswego, we have what's called a global living and learning community. It's a dormitory right on our campus where 300 students live together. Half of them are American students, maybe those who are interested in international studies or living abroad. And the other half are international students like you. There is a course tied to this, but every week there are different themes. There are different festivals or different programs that the students can participate in that are international. This or an international or global themed. So celebrations like Diwali, like Carnival, like Japanese tea ceremonies, like Chinese New Year, etc. These activities are really designed to help you learn about global issues. They're designed to help you build community and form friendships that may last a lifetime with people all around the world. And it's also a way to learn where you live, right? The last thing I will mention here is that many students still live on campus during COVID. You still need a place to live even if all of your classes are online. Many students have chosen to continue living on campus, whether that's at Oswego or at many other universities throughout the United States. There are just additional checks that they may have to do to make sure that they are following the rules and all of the health procedures associated with the college's plan to respond to COVID. So things like a daily health screening or testing requirements. And I think that's it for me. So I will pass it on to my next colleague. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natalia Herrera. I'm from Colombia and the representative for SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. The next slide, please. Thank you. So Savannah College of Art and Design, we are located in Georgia, in the south of the United States. We have a couple locations within the state. So we are in Atlanta, which is the city. We're also in Savannah, which is the college town. This is where the university was founded. SCAD is a university, it's a very unique university because we only focus on careers that are creative careers. So it's only in the field of art and design and technology. So as you can see here in my slide, we have a pretty outstanding number of our alumni that are employed after graduation, because SCAD is a university that focuses a lot in careers that connect careers with the industries. So you can also see in this slide a couple of names of some careers that you can maybe see that are familiar to you in the field of art and design. So we have so many things such as design for sustainability, animation, architecture. So it's a very unique university. Our university is not as big as some of the ones that are here. Our university is a kind of medium university. We have only 15,000 students overall in our all campuses. We also have a small campus in Lacoste, France. And this is a campus where students that have the opportunity to also do kind of an abroad experience. So this is a little bit of overview of SCAD as a university. It's a very young university as well. We only been around for about 40 years. And then of course, when we do the breakout rooms, I can give you more details about the university because it's a very unique university with very specific programs. Now we're going to talk about the next slide, Boris, please. Now we're going to talk about sport activities and student clubs. So of course, just like many other universities here in the United States, and today the subject in Education USA is about extracurriculum activities. So something that you have to keep in mind when you're going to choose a university in the US is that culturally is very different. I'm from Colombia. I come from a university in Latin America, and we don't have this so strongly in our cultural universities. We don't have sports such a strong theme in our university. We don't have clubs. So here in the US, that's a really strong theme or really strong subject. Why? Because this is another way where students can engage with the community, can engage with education, can engage with with what they're learning, along with belonging to clubs and to kind of understand how the community works. So for instance, something that you have to be in the lookout for universities is if you're into sports, look what kind of sports universities offer, what kind of, because there are many things. So you have, many universities have the Department of Athletics for students that when they apply to the university, they're looking for scholarships, athletic scholarships. That's a really big thing here in the US. So of course you have to learn more about that. What is the profile that the university is looking into, especially if the university is doing recruitment for international students that are really good and they've been building a career into sports, and also try to see how what sports universities offer, because every university have a very peculiar sport. I'm going to talk about, here is the list of the sports that we have at SCAD. They're very different from many other universities. So for instance, if you see, we have cycling, we have golf, tennis, things like that as a sport. But then you know, we compete also in national competitions and all, but all these sports also offer kind of as an activity for the students. So you don't have to be the super athletic. You can also belong in these teams just because for fun, just because it's something that you want to, you know, do an extra or do something besides just focusing on studies, because you want to build a community, because you just, you know, you have this as a hobby and you don't want to left it behind just because you're studying. So this is something really important that you have to be in the lookout in terms of when you choose a university. Because when you choose a university, you're not choosing it just because of the curriculum, you're choosing it because of the cultural and the way the university is going to offer you a living to belong in a community. Now, the other side of this slide is we're going to talk about student clubs or student involvement. This is a really interesting way where students not only, because not many students are into sports, other students are into, like, you know, kind of personal development, such as leadership, such as you know, belonging to you know, counseling activities or performance clubs or things like that. And most of the time these clubs, they tend to be very much aligned to the career that you're studying. So try to be in the lookout for what kind of clubs, you know, offer you to belong in a, you know, for diversity. If you're an international student, if there's a club only for international students, if there's a club for, you know, artistic things, if there's a club for, I don't know, there are so many clubs, for instance, at SCAD, because, you know, this is the university I work for, and there is so many careers that are so specific. There are clubs for, you know, from film to animation to performing arts. There's also clubs for, you know, students that they just decide to do a club for, you know, activism or social activities, kind of to support a lot of movements that are going on, socially speaking, or a lot of movements in terms of the environment. So things like that. So this is something on the site that you can look when you're looking into university, how involved the universities are within what's happening, you know, in the current, you know, in the current situation, social situation, economical situation, and what's the participation in the university in that kind of subject. So these are just, you know, these activities or these departments are made for the student to develop themselves in a professional level, in a personal level, to develop, you know, leadership, to develop, you know, how to do networking and things like that. So I just want to put it out there that when you choose, when you're choosing a university, think that the university is going to be, you know, adapt to the culture. So here in the United States, we're very, very strong in, like, when you come to university, you're belonging to a community and you basically, you know, need to get involved, and that's how you're going to grow, and that's how you're going to really enjoy the experience being an international student and studying abroad. So I hope you guys come over my break room to learn more about SCAD. And if you guys have any more questions about admission process and things like that, I'll be happy to help. Now I'm gonna pass it over to my colleague, Jean from Manhattan College.
Thank you, Natalia. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you to the coordinators and to everybody that's attending for listening. I'm Jean Blanchette. I'm a recruiter with Manhattan College, and I will get you a little brief introduction to Manhattan College. So next slide. Basically, Manhattan College is located in a private, it's a private university located in a quiet residential neighborhood in New York City. So we're about 10 miles north of Manhattan. We have a little over 4,000 students studying here, mostly on the undergraduate level. They're earning their bachelor's degrees. And we offer majors in engineering and sciences with STEM programs, but we also have business, liberal arts, education, and health programs. We have small class sizes. Again, we're only about 4,000 students here, so we do have small class sizes. You're going to get to know your faculty, your professors, you're going to get to know your classmates and be engaged with them throughout campus when you're here. We welcome students from all over the world. We have about 180 international students from a little over 60 different countries. Next slide, please. So my portion is talking about social action and service. And this is where students have the opportunity when they're in college to support activities and do things at college that will help those in need. These are students who are joining clubs. They're becoming engaged in activities because they believe in educating and advocating for those who are disadvantaged. And this is one of the things that we pride ourselves on at Manhattan College, but you're going to find these types of activities at many different schools across the country. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can become involved and help those who are disadvantaged. Of course, we all know about the pandemic. There are so many people who are in need from losing their job, losing their businesses. It has become a global, need out there. And so many people who are in communities, it's been heartwarming to see so many people in communities who have the means and resources to help others coming out, and communities are really coming together to support one another. So how can you get involved in college between social action and service? One of the first things that we think about is our service immersion experiences. Many students, when they go to college, want to study abroad. This is where you can actually do service abroad. So for example, not during the pandemic because travel is very limited, but once the pandemic is over, students will be able to travel to countries and help with a variety of different things that you can see listed here. So you're going to be able to go into communities and help with education and literacy, technology access, or affordable housing, helping rehab homes. These are all different examples of how students can become involved in helping people in need in different communities. And our students are doing this throughout all the different college campuses here in the United States. When you're in these communities, you're very much a part of the community. You eat the food that's there, you go and participate in cultural activities, you're working and living amongst the community and getting a really well-rounded experience in terms of going out there and doing these things and helping people. Next slide, please. The next way that you can become involved is through community service, and many college campuses are located in communities where there are needs within the community for people who, there's volunteer activities. So, you can volunteer your time and talents to do things such as working at a food bank or helping to rehabilitate and build homes, serving meals at a community center. You may already be doing this in your own community, and you can actually continue this in college when you're there. We have offices that are dedicated at our different colleges. So offices will be dedicated to getting student volunteers, organizing these, looking, outreaching into the community and looking for opportunities for students to volunteer. So it's a great way. Many students are actually leading these efforts. So when you get there, not only can you be a volunteer, but if you'd like to volunteer and lead some of these efforts within the community for something that you're passionate about, you're more than welcome to do that. There's also annual events hosted by colleges. So toy drives, blood drives, food and clothing or personal care drives are very important, especially during the pandemic. People don't have food, so you can safely donate food in your community. That's what we've been doing. And there are people who have been able to safely distance at some of these volunteer distribution centers to help out with food distribution, because there's just drive-through lines and you're plopping the food in the trunk and then the people will drive off. Next slide, please. In addition to this, many colleges may incorporate service learning into a class. So when you take your class, you're taking the academic class, but then you're also doing service learning. So this is something where you'll work with your faculty member, and maybe you'll partner with somebody in the community to work on tutoring at a local school. This can be done virtually, as it was done during the pandemic, or you might go to the school and read to students, mentor at-risk youth. Maybe there's some programs in the local community where youth need mentors that are a little bit older than them, kind of along with their peers, that you may be able to help do this. I've listed here some examples of small business consulting. If you're in a business major and there's a business who needs the help of setting up and getting their business up and running, you may be able to volunteer your time to do that or write grants. There's also summer immersion programs that can be done as well with camps. Next slide, please. Finally, there's plenty of clubs and organizations that you can join when you get to a college that have to do with social action or service groups. So, some of the areas I've listed here at Manhattan, we have Cards for a Cause, which was very popular during the pandemic. This is where students were creating homemade cards for students, for people that were living in nursing homes. They were in children's hospitals, even deployed soldiers that were way out in the world taking care of things. This is where students can become involved and, help with people who are isolated and give them a little bit of cheer in their day. We have Engineers Without Borders. They're dedicated to assisting those in need and helping communities meet the basic needs of their community, or Just Peace, which is a platform for students to discuss social issues. So when you get into college, if you're passionate about volunteering your time and helping people, this is something you want to definitely look at your college campus. I thank you for your time. I look forward to visiting with you in my booth afterwards. These are just some of the many ways you can become an advocate and contribute your time and talents to your college community. Thank you so much, and I will turn it back over to the moderators.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you, guys. I think it was really helpful to learn more about extracurricular activities on campus. And I'm checking here our Q&A, and most of the questions are regarding extracurricular activities that can be performed during high school. What would be interesting for the students to develop during those years before applying, and that can actually help them or improve their applications. And I think we didn't cover much of that during our presentations, or your presentations. So if you could, each one of you, maybe based on what you had seen last year, on the last year cycle, if you've seen some interesting activities that students performed within this context of the pandemic, that would be really helpful for our students. Most of them are really looking forward to apply, and they are really interested in getting inside information from you guys on what you've seen, how creative they can be regarding that. And I think that would be really helpful for them. So I don't know if you want to start on the same order that we did. It would be really nice. Really, we have around 9 minutes now, so you can keep it short. Maybe we have a time for a second question later. Thanks. Boris, if you want to begin, I mean, if you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, to be quite honest with you, when, I think back to high school, I think good things to participate in for any student is really any type of leadership or social causes that you can participate in that will always help you to make your application stronger. But much more important than that, quite honestly, is just really the personal development that you're getting out of that. Ideally, once you complete your high school, you are applying to, whatever university you want to apply to, but all of that knowledge that you've already gained during your high school time will just really help you to succeed so much better at a university. If you're, more well-rounded when it comes to interacting with other people, if you know different perspectives, anything that can help achieving that goal, I think it's always great. And that can be literally anything. It can be, hey, if you're really interested in a certain sport, make sure to, follow your passion there and get involved there. If you are, if you are religious and you like to go to church and you like to participate in community building projects there, do that. Put that on your resume, have it ready. But regardless of your resume, regardless of your application, it will always just help you as a human being, as a person, to develop your own skills.
Thank you, Boris. Anyone else would like to add on that? Some interesting things that you've seen, considering this context where students maybe are not going to school or not allowed to go on field.
I can echo those comments regarding leadership activities. During the pandemic, it has been very hard for students, but there are virtual opportunities to get involved with any of your organizations, such as a church, or such as your school, or such as your community. So if you're involved in those efforts, that's a great way, even organizing it yourself. So if there's a nursing home and you can volunteer your time virtually to maybe teach them something virtually, or maybe read a short story to them, things such as that. There are plenty of opportunities virtually. I know a lot of students in this day and age are kind of getting burnt out with the virtual opportunities, but as you're looking in your community for needs, or organizing some sort of, maybe food gathering thing. So, you can set a box outside of your house and have food donated outside of your house and get that to your local food bank. That shows that you're trying to be engaged in the community. Many students are doing this. We see a lot of leadership activities, especially if it's with sports teams or in their community or within their churches, things like that, which are great for students in the high school age to have on their resume.
Excellent. And what about, do you think that activities really need to be related to their field of study? It can be anything. What you can say on that?
Sorry, Maria, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to echo what Boris and Jean said, and to answer your question, Guillaume, what we were really looking for at Oswego is because we receive, our admissions counselors receive so many applications. What we're looking for is things that set you apart from the rest. So maybe that doesn't necessarily relate to your degree in computer science or your intended major in business administration, but something that does show a leadership capacity, knowing that even students in the United States and students from all around the world applying to all of these universities are also going to be in the same situation as you, where for the past year or so, they haven't had those opportunities to really showcase, as they would have before, their talents or their skills or their athletic ability, for example. But there are still ways that you can contribute to the community. You can set yourself apart as a leader, and that's all very impressive to admissions counselors who are going through a lot of applications each day.
Great.
Yeah, if I may add here, super quick, just a personal example. I myself, because I think in the Q&A, a student asked whether or not you as a student maybe should even do a gap year after high school. I think that's another great way how you can gain some international experience. And the reason why I say I speak out of personal experience is I did that myself. I was born and raised in Germany, so that's where I grew up, and I did an international a year abroad as an international exchange student, and that helped me a lot in my, personal development, but it also helped me a lot with speaking English. It also really just, changed my my worldview on things, and I credit that here to a big part to where I am today, right? I am sitting and speaking to you right now, right here from Los Angeles. So, things like that. I think if you look into these different options, definitely something to consider, and definitely something that might be very life-changing to you as well.
We have a good question here. Someone is asking, in case they have performed activities and they are not actually able to show proof of that. They don't have a certificate. Maybe they have like a picture or something, but students are really worried. Usually they are really worried on how they will believe me that I actually did those things. Do I have to show certificate, proof, or does it have to be mentioned on a letter or something? Anyone? Let's go. Wanna go for that?
I think many times that can come from a recommendation letter. So if a student has been engaged and it's through a teacher or through a community leader or anything like that, if they have a letter of recommendation, that's sort of the testament to what they've done. And many students have different activities. So as they're building their resume, they're going to want to consider that if a college is looking for some sort of verification, that if somebody can help them with that verification, that will be the best avenue.
Yep, I'll add to that, have details, right, about what you did, from when to when you did that, for how long and for how many hours, and that's also helpful. Okay, guys, I think
Let me just interrupt you for 1 second.
Sure.
So we're coming up on our time to move to the Zoom rooms. So I wanted to thank you guys so much for your presentations and for being here with us tonight. The students are very much looking forward to this next part as well. So I just wanted to thank you so much for being here with us today. And,
thank you so much,
and then
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys can move over to Zoom, and I'm going to post the links right now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.